Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. The NFL Combine is over. It's done. And now the focus shifts to NFL free agency with the tampering period starting a week from today. We all know they tampered at the Combine. And then, of course, players can start signing next Wednesday. And speaking of free agency, do the Bears have a secret weapon for free agency in assistant general manager Ian Cunningham? I'll go two smoking Jays. People are talking. I can't go higher than that because we haven't seen the Bears sign anybody yet. Obviously, if they have a strong free agency period, that could be viewed differently. An NFL agent told The Athletic this about Cunningham, quote, Cunningham, he'll bring guys in. They'll sign because of him. He's the one. And now certainly with Philadelphia, they were able to make a lot of moves over the past couple of years. You think about trading for Darius Slay, signing Javon Hargrave. He comes over from Philly to Chicago. And look, they need to fill holes in free agency. Make no mistake about it. The Chicago Bears have got to get some of these guys to come in here and sign and fill some of these gaps because the Bears have some needs to fill. You think about offensive line, and I could have gone individual positions, tackle, guard, center. I think all of it is an area you could address depending on how you view the current guys on your offensive line. Wide receiver, after Darnell Mooney, you got to fill some spots there. Cornerback, same deal. Jalen Johnson's in place, but what do you have beyond that? Defensive tackle, this new 4-3 scheme. I don't know if you have a single defensive tackle on this roster that is even viewed a starter as of now. And then safety as well next to Eddie Jackson. You could use another linebacker next to Roquan Smith. I mean, there are positions you have got to fill on this roster, and you can't do it all in the draft, especially since you only have 5 draft picks. Ryan Poles, he keeps talking about the second and third waves of free agency. Now, I think the second wave of free agency could be next Wednesday, which is the first day players can officially sign. You'll see deals start being agreed to next Monday. So I think after that very initial rush, where a lot of guys are going to agree to deals, you could see the Bears really kind of getting some of those B-level guys and filling out this roster for next season. And they're going to have to utilize free agency. Maybe down the road, the Bears aren't a team that's super aggressive in free agency, but you at least have to be mildly aggressive this year because you only have those 5 draft picks. You're going to have to utilize free agency to fill out this roster. You only have 26 guys under contract outside of reserve/future contracts. And the chances of those guys making the roster, those reserve future guys, maybe 1 or 2 makes the roster, maybe, but in all reality, you're going to have to sign, a dozen free agents here, then your draft class, and maybe add a couple more guys after the draft in free agency. So look for the Bears to certainly sign some guys, and by the sound of it, Ian Cunningham can help you do just that. Who is your top free agency target? This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, just think about it. Who's the one guy you would like to see the Bears sign in free agency? The Smoker J rumor meter is as follows. We've gotten some new subscribers recently, so I want to remind you guys, 0 Smoking J's equals fake news. There is no truth to it whatsoever. 1 Smoking J equals it's barely true. 2 Smoking J's, people are definitely talking. It's 50-50. 3 Smoking J's, it's pretty likely, but it's not confirmed. 4 Smoking J's equals bear down. So the first story, 2 Smoking J's, people talking about Ian Cunningham, but actions speak louder than words. Subscribe to the channel. More Chicago Bears news and rumors and more Smokin' Jay's rumor meter shows as well. If the Bears make a move in free agency, we'll break it down for you. Subscribe, turn on those notifications. We will keep you guys in the loop throughout NFL free agency. Okay, let's get to our next Bears rumor here. Are the Bears going to tweak Justin Fields' throwing motion? 3 Smokin' Jays, I think this is probably pretty likely, and the main reason I think that is this happens all the time with quarterbacks in the NFL. Guys are constantly tweaking their motions. The Athletic did a write-up, kind of a combine, reaction stuff they were hearing there. Kevin Fishbain, and a talking point was around Justin Fields, how the league views him. And one anonymous executive basically mentioned that that throwing motion's a bit elongated and could be tweaked, and that the Bears coaching staff is certainly discussing that as well. And obviously, if you tighten up that throwing release, you can get the ball out a little bit quicker. quicker. That you've seen guys over the years do this. This is not anything super abnormal. Here's what Fishbain wrote up. Quote, several league contacts pointed to Fields' mechanics, specifically his elongated throwing motion, but conversations were generally positive around Fields. A key difference from 2020, when questions and concerns about Trubisky were widespread, Fields' deep ball was highlighted as a positive, is what he's saying there. Don't panic when you, when you read, they got to tweak Fields' throwing motion. He's got, technical issues. This happens all the time. I mean, living here in Dallas, I remember when Tony Romo, took over for the Cowboys. He had kind of this 3/4 arm sling. He tweaked his throwing motion throughout his entire career. I mean, that's what quarterbacks do. Rodgers tweaked his when he came into the NFL. You just tighten it up a little bit, no big deal, and you are good to go. It's not like he's having to learn how to play the position all over again. So take this with a grain of salt. It's not that big of a deal. Now, we do have an announcement here on Chicago Bears Now. We are now on Rumble. If you don't know what Rumble is, it's another video provider, just like YouTube, where they have sports videos, news, politics, and other topics as well, business, finance, whatever you want. They're delving into sports, and we've partnered with them, and you can see our Bears Now videos over there as well, plus some exclusive content. So go check us out, support the show. If you're looking for another way to support us, follow us on Rumble. It's rumble.com/BearsNow, and sooner rather than later, we'll post some exclusive content over there. We're not going anywhere on YouTube. We're just expanding our platform here on Chicago Bears Now. Exciting times. Rumble.com/BearsNow. That link will be in the comments and in the description of this video. I just wanted to show a photo of Justin Fields here. He's got a baseball background at times, and it's not, full Byron Leftwich windup, but at times, the ball can be back there. And, if he's getting blitzed, it's easier to swipe that ball out if you're a defensive end. So, I mean, I could see him getting it tightened up just a little bit. Obviously, on those deeper, more downfield throws, sometimes it's just naturally going to get a tick more loopy to get more mustard behind it. But I would not worry too much about all this stuff moving forward. The key moving forward is getting good coaching for Justin Fields, both from a mechanical standpoint and an X's and O's standpoint, more importantly, in my opinion, to get the best out of him with his talents. And, I think that's, what we're all excited for, right, with free agency here. Build around Fields, watch him cook. I mean, that's my main takeaway here. You get the right pieces around him. He's going to deliver for you. I really do believe that. Quarterbacks are always working on their mechanics. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, these guys always talk about, I got to improve my footwork this offseason, this and that. You're never a finished product, and that is certainly the case with Justin Fields. Will Justin Fields be good? Is he the guy? Type G for good, type B for bad. I know you're watching Sangray Kim, so you can go ahead and type your B for bad. But I think most of you guys are positive around Justin Fields. Get your votes in, G for good or B for bad. All right, let's talk about Mitch Trubisky. Is he going to get the bag? I think so, man. Somebody's going to pay Mitchell Trubisky, as he was one of the top talking points at the NFL Combine this past week. Reports surfacing that he's going to get over $10 million per year, and good chance he's going to end up starting somewhere in 2022. Now, obviously, that's not going to be in Chicago, but I know a lot of you guys are enamored with Mitch. He's been a big talking point over the past couple of weeks, so I thought I'd talk about him as well. League source, this is per an article for The Athletic. Quote, Trubisky is going to get paid, which I find pretty interesting and not super surprising, because my take on the whole Trubisky thing, how it's all played out over the last 12 to 15 months, is him signing to be Buffalo's backup, playing pretty well in the preseason, but ultimately not playing last year, while Matt Nagy melted in Chicago, was the best thing that could have happened to him. Him not playing this year is going to get him paid, which is the irony of all of it. I'm pulling for Mitch. I got no bad ill will against him. It didn't work in Chicago, and no, believe it or not, that was not all on Matt Nagy. Trubisky has his blame to share as well, but he certainly did enough good things to warrant a second chance to start somewhere. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You look at his numbers; those are average to above average starting quarterback numbers, 64%. Not quite a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, but enough volume there where I think he'll get another crack at it. I'd love to see him get another shot. I'd love to see Trubisky go to the Saints or go to the Denver Broncos and play well, ideally an AFC team, so the Bears don't have to face him a bunch. But it'll be curious to see how it plays out. He's a great dude. a hard worker by all accounts. It just didn't work in Chicago, and now there's enough buzz around him where I think there's a good chance that he will be a starting quarterback somewhere in 2022. What do you guys think? Do you think that's true? Will he start somewhere next season? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think especially if some of these bigger name quarterbacks don't end up getting moved, we'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. But if they end up staying, teams like Denver, that they need a starting quarterback. The Saints, Washington. I mean, Trubisky's going to start somewhere, especially with this draft class not being very good this year. All right, that's all for today. Again, get your votes in on Trubisky. Appreciate you guys tuning in. YouTube.com/BearsNow. We are the channel for you. If you want more Chicago Bears news and rumors videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you soon here on Bears Now.